and girls. Welcome to the Crafty Corner. Christmas is over and it's almost New Year's. Can you believe it's almost 2024? Well, you have tuned in to the Crafty Corner today, and I have got a craft for you. It's one of my favorites. Look at this thing you guys are going to get to make. It is like the magic ball that drops in New York Times Square that will light up 2024 at midnight on December 31st. All right, boys and girls, this craft is a little complicated, and so I need to show you everything that we have in your packet. You are going to have strips of glittery cardstock. You are going to have some foil. You are going to have some silvery tissue paper, and it looks like I got lots of foil in my packet. You are also going to have 2 paper plates, and you are going to have the numbers for 2024, and you are going to have some silver ribbon. All right, you will also have a little worksheet that says hello 20, and then you can add in 2024 and add your name and your age and some of the things that you have memories of for 2023 or things that you want to do in the future. Now, in order to stuff our ball, you are going to need to have some newspaper, or if you have, you can even use tissue paper, not tissue paper, but you could use either toilet paper or paper towels. Anything that you have, if you have some Kleenex, you can stuff it so that it's a little bit poofy when we get done, and I'll get to that point in just a minute. So you have all this stuff that you have, but you have got to do some prep before you get started. So first of all, I'm going to take my strips of my silver and I'm going to lay them on top of each other, and I am going to cut some squares. Now you don't want them very big, so about 3/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. You want to have these little squares, because if they're too big, they won't lie flat on the paper plate. So go ahead and snip those until you have a bunch of squares that are almost all identical in shape. It does look better when they're all about the same size. All right, this foil will be our next thing that we need to prep. So if your foil isn't all crinkly, you may want to flatten it out some. And foil's a little weird to cut, but it's sort of fun. So I would go ahead and cut at least 2 strips. I'm going to go ahead and just cut 3 so I have enough. So I've got my 2 strips. I'm going to cut 1 more strip of foil. And at once, you need to make them all about the same size. Okay, try your best to make them all about the same size. So I'm going to lay them on top of each other, just like I did those other strips of the other strip of paper. Get them all even here. And we're going to make squares about the same size. So now they do sort of stick together, so you're going to want to separate those so that you have them in a nice little pile. The foil tends to all stick together for some reason. All right. So there is a lot of prep to this, but it looks really cool when we're done. So boys and girls, I know New Year's is coming, and I was wondering, what do you guys do as a New Year's tradition? Do you all stay up till midnight? Do you have a party at your house? I know at my house, when I was growing up, my grandmother got to stay with us, and she would always have some fun things for us to do. Like we would do a different game at each hour, and then she'd also prepare different snacks for each hour as we counted down. So it was a lot of fun. All right, so next we need to prep our tissue paper, and I am going to lay it on top of each other so that I have 2 strips already when I cut. All right, so go ahead and get some strips of tissue paper. This is the easiest to lay on the paper plate, so if of anything that you cut, you might want to have plenty of this. Now you have to make sure that you notice that it's gray on one side, but silver on the other side. So as you're laying it down, make sure that we glue our silver side. The gray wouldn't be too bad either, but it won't be as sparkly unless you have the silver side showing. All right, now that I have all that done and out of the way, I'm going to move all that over here. I'm going to take my paper plate, and we want this side, not like if you want to put your hot dog on here or chips, don't put it on here. Turn it over so that it's poofing out. And I've already done one. Okay, because this does take a while. Now, since we're using different types of material on the paper plate, we do need white glue. The glue stick is not going to hold it all together. My suggestion, since I've already made several of these, is to start in the middle. So I'm going to slather the glue on pretty thick. I am going to scribble it around, and I'm going to go ahead and get that whole center part of my paper plate filled with glue. And my suggestion, because you don't have a lot of the cardstock, and that is what's really pretty glittery, is get that in the center. Because it's not going to glue over here, boys and girls. It's not going to glue on the edges. And so you're going to want your foil and your tissue paper over there. But you do want to vary it some. You don't want it all exactly the same. And so what I've been doing is I use the foil and the cardstock and just go back and forth with it, and use as much of that cardstock as you can in the center, because that just makes it look really, really sparkly. And then here's some of that tissue paper, and use your cardstock until you get out toward the edge where you won't be able to use it anymore. Let's see, I want to make sure I have the glittery side up. Let me get some more foil in here. And so this part is where you sort of get to be creative, put it up wherever you want it. But you do have these little blocks of the silver color on here. So pretty. All right, let's see. And then this one was starting to go down the ridges here, so I guess I need to put a little bit more glue. You probably will get glue on your hands as you're tapping things down because you want it to lay flat. So you might need a wiper around so that you can clean your hands up. All right, let's go ahead and get some more glue on here. Get some more of that foil because that is really shiny. It's almost like a disco ball, isn't it, boys and girls? It's so cool. Whoops, actually, I'm going to move that one down so that I have that one there. Okay. All right, now I'm getting to the point where I don't think I can use any more cardstock because I don't know that it would lay on this one. Yeah, it might, without sticking up too much. So the rest of this is going to be foil and tissue paper. So let's just lay our tissue paper and our foil, and you can overlap them a little bit. And then again, at the end, the corners, if it sticks off your paper plate, that's okay because you can trim it up later. Okay, let's make sure we have the silver part showing. That foil on there. All right. New Year's is a really fun time, boys and girls. I know you're off from school, which is always a good time, right? Although I loved school when I was a kid, but having a few days off vacation is fun. You get to be with family. You might get to travel and go new places. You know, of course, you always get new toys and lots of good food to eat. So this is a great way to end 2023 with this beautiful silvery drop ball to help bring in the new year. And my fingers are getting all glue filled. That's okay. That's what happens when we do some crafts. Now, there's not too many books out there that have the, that cover New Year's as a theme in their book. I did find one that says Happy New Year. I think it says Mallory. Yeah. So there is a couple books on New Year if you want to come and read about other kids doing stuff on New Year's. You can do that too. All right, that was a big piece. That helped cover up a lot. All right, as you can see, this is sort of the tedious part of this project. Just keep going until it's all covered up. Sometimes my foil got wadded up. That wasn't fun. I think I'm out of glue. All right. Let's see. I think I just laid the gray side down. Oh, wow. Now that's all covered with glue. I'm not going to remove it. So try to get as close to the edge as you can. If it's overlapping or sticking out, just let that Let that be all right. That's no problem. If you want to leave some white part, that would be okay too. It's however, at this point, you want to finish up your edging, okay? So I think I'm just going to finish my edging with the tissue paper here because that's what's easiest right now. Maybe a little foil on a bigger spot. Okay. Oh, that foil did not stick. You need to have quite a bit of glue for foil to stick. So I hope you have plenty of white glue around right now. All right, we are almost done. Make sure I've got the glittery side. One more piece of foil. And you see I cut plenty. Any of those extra scraps you have, you might want to make another craft with or just throw them away. Okay, now I'm going to poof my plate back out. Now that I've got it pretty well covered, I'm going to see where I have parts that are sticking out, so I'm going to trim those off. Get that stuff thrown in the garbage. I think that's pretty good. Okay, now our next step is to glue on our numbers. So, and actually, you know, you might want to wait and let that dry. Actually, I'm going to use my other plate. This one's already dry. I did this one the other day. So I'm going to put my 2024, and you can put it straight across your glitter ball, or you can make it go at a diagonal a little bit like I had done on my original one that I made. So maybe we'll just go straight across this time. So once you get it labeled, just once you get it laid down so that you don't put your numbers on backwards. I've done that before. So turn them over and put the glue on. All right. You know, New Year's is also a time for resolutions. That means that you're sort of making a promise to yourself that you're going to try something or do something different in the new year. Have you got anything like that in your life, boys and girls, that you can think of, something you want to change, you want to try to do better at? That's another thing that adults like to do, especially around New Year. Okay, start over and try something new. All right, once that's on there, you have your 2 paper plates. And you can see this one is having trouble because it's still wet. But I will show you what we're going to do. We're going to take this. Actually, if you turn it over and press it down, that's probably a good way of sealing and making sure that all stays dry. So we're going to put these 2 on top of each other, and you are going to need a stapler. Okay, and we're going to staple our 2 edges together. But before we do that, we're going to want to take some filling, whatever you have. I'm going to take 2 pieces of newspaper here, crumble them up, lay it inside. You don't really have to glue it down or anything, just press it down and put the other lid on top. You might need some help with an adult here to help you with this part of it. Once you have it down, I would suggest you start at the bottom. You take your stapler and you're going to staple your edges together. You need to go about, you know, an inch or 2 apart so that it stays well together. Just having 3 or 4 staples is not going to hold it all together since we have that stuffing on the inside. All right, so I'm going to go back around to this side. And once we get to the top, and this one, we lost that piece. All right, once we get to the top, you need to get your hanger. And you're going to want to lay the ribbon on top of each other. So, and then you want about an inch or 2 to stick down inside your paper plate. And then you're going to lay it on top of each other like this. And grab that stapler and staple that ribbon right in there. Okay, and then finish your edging. Let's see, I think I've about got it. Okay, you might want to test that out, make sure it holds. And then you can celebrate. It's almost 2024, boys and girls. I'm so excited. I hope you love this project because I sure did. When I saw it, I fell in love with it. Isn't that adorable? And it's so glittery. I love glitter. All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. It has been a wonderful year. 2023, we have done so many cool crafts. Thank you so much for watching and coming into the library always and getting these new projects. I really appreciate that you come and you enjoy these crafts. So 2024 is even going to be better, boys and girls. Keep watching. We got more crafts ahead. Thank you so much for watching today, and watch me again next week because I'll have another craft for you. I'm Miss Lisa for the Crafty Corner at the Fayette County Public Library. See me again next year. It will be 2024. Bye, boys and girls.